If you're over 60, pause for a moment and really listen. Because what I'm about to say quietly contradicts what most people believe, and it's something surgeons, physical therapists, and mobility researchers already agree on. Walking is healthy. Walking supports your heart. Walking improves circulation and endurance. But walking is not enough to keep your legs strong after 60. That may sound surprising, because walking feels right. It feels natural. It feels safe. It feels like the responsible thing to do. And that's why so many adults over 60 rely on it as their main form of exercise. But here's what clinicians see every day. People who walk faithfully. People who never miss their daily steps. Yet they struggle to rise from a chair. They feel their legs shake on stairs. They become cautious on uneven ground. They worry about falling. Surgeons see this pattern constantly. They operate on patients who stayed active, but their thigh muscles have thinned, their hip muscles have weakened, their ankles no longer stabilize them the way they once did. Physical therapists see it as well. A patient says, "But I walk every day." And the therapist understands. Because walking alone does not protect against age-related muscle loss. After 60, muscles naturally begin to shrink unless they are specifically challenged, not stretched, not gently used, specifically trained. Walking improves endurance, but endurance is not strength. Walking improves endurance, but endurance is not strength. Endurance is how long you can move. Strength is whether you can control your body when it matters. After 60, that difference becomes crucial. Strength is what lets you stand up without pushing off. Strength is what keeps your knees steady on stairs. Strength is what allows your ankle to correct a misstep before you fall. Walking does not train those systems. It relies on momentum. It avoids deep muscle activation. It teaches the body to conserve effort. That efficiency feels good, but it sends the wrong signal to aging muscles. Over time, the muscles that protect your joints quietly turn off. Balance becomes less automatic. Movements become cautious instead of confident. This is not about fitness. This is about independence. Surgeons don't measure independence by step counts. They measure it by function. Can you rise from a chair without using your hands? Can your legs control your body on stairs? Can your ankles stabilize you on uneven ground? Walking does not train these abilities. That's why so many adults over 60 feel surprised when everyday movements suddenly feel harder. The good news is this. This decline is not inevitable. It's predictable. And predictable problems can be addressed. There are specific, joint-safe exercises that surgeons and physical therapists use to assess independence. They are not gym workouts. They are not athletic. They are designed specifically for older adults. These movements target the muscles walking does not. They don't replace walking. They complete it. In a moment, I'll guide you through 3 of these exercises. They are gentle. They are slow. They are clinically grounded. And they focus on the muscles most responsible for safety, balance, and independence after 60. We'll begin with the first one. It's considered one of the strongest predictors of whether someone remains independent as they age. Exercise number 1, the independence test. This first exercise is not a fitness move. It's a clinical test. Surgeons and physical therapists use it to predict independence after 60. They don't ask how far someone can walk. They ask whether this movement is strong and controlled. It's called the sit to stand. You already do it every day. Getting up from a chair, getting off the toilet, standing up from the car. That's why doctors care so much about it. Because when this movement weakens, independence quietly disappears. Here's what surgeons see. A patient can still walk, but they need their hands to push up. They rock forward. They hesitate. They avoid low chairs. That tells us something important. The muscles that control standing up are failing. Specifically, the front of the thighs, the hips, the muscles that stabilize the knees. These are large, powerful muscles, and after 60, they shrink quickly if they're not challenged. Walking does not train them properly. When you walk, your legs swing forward with momentum. You never load your full body weight through these muscles. They stay understimulated. Standing up from a chair is different. It requires your muscles to lift your entire body against gravity, slowly, with control. That's why surgeons use this movement as a predictor. If it's strong, daily life stays manageable. If it's weak, everything becomes harder. Now let me show you how to do it safely. Find a sturdy chair, one that doesn't move. Sit near the front edge. Feet flat on the floor. Feet about shoulder width apart. Lean your chest slightly forward. This protects your knees. Now stand up. Slowly. No rushing. As you stand, think about pressing through your heels, not your toes. Once you're standing tall, pause for 1 second. Then slowly sit back down. Control the descent. Don't drop. That slow lowering is just as important as standing up. That's 1 repetition. If you're strong, aim for 8 to 10 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets. If that feels difficult, that's okay. Here are modifications. You may use your hands lightly on the chair at first. You may sit on a slightly higher surface. You may do fewer repetitions. What matters is control, not numbers. If your knees feel uncomfortable, slow down more. Pain is a signal to adjust, not to stop. As this exercise improves, something changes. Standing up feels lighter. Stairs feel less intimidating. Your knees feel more supported. That's not coincidence. You're rebuilding the muscles that walking ignores. This movement trains strength, real-world strength, and strength is what keeps you independent. Exercise number 2, the fall prevention muscle. This next exercise targets a muscle group most people never think about. Yet surgeons and physical therapists talk about it constantly. Because when this muscle weakens, falls increase. Even in people who walk every day. These are the ankle stabilizing muscles. They sit around the ankle joint. They respond in milliseconds when you step on something uneven. They keep your body upright when the ground surprises you. Here's the problem. After 60, these muscles shrink faster than almost any other, and walking barely activates them. When you walk on flat ground, your ankle moves in a very limited way. Forward, backward. It rarely has to correct sideways motion. It rarely has to react quickly. Surgeons see the result of this every week. A patient says, "I just tripped out of nowhere." But when we look closer, it wasn't nowhere. It was a small slope, a rug edge, a curb. The ankle didn't respond in time. That's not clumsiness. That's weakness. And walking does almost nothing to fix it. This exercise directly trains those stabilizers. It's simple, and it's joint safe. Stand near a counter or sturdy chair. Place one hand lightly on it for balance. Shift your weight onto one foot. Now slowly lift the other foot off the ground, just a few inches. Hold that position. At first, aim for 10 to 15 seconds. You may feel your ankle working. You may feel small adjustments. That's exactly what we want. Those tiny corrections are your fall prevention muscles waking up. Keep your posture tall. Don't lock your knee. Breathe normally, then place the foot down. Switch sides. Repeat 2 to 3 times per leg. If this feels too difficult, here's how to modify it. Keep one fingertip on the counter. Shorten the hold time. Stay closer to the ground. If it feels easy, progress slowly. Close your eyes briefly. Turn your head slightly. Stand on a softer surface, not to challenge yourself aggressively, but to gently increase the demand. Why does this beat walking? Because walking assumes stability. This exercise trains stability. Research in mobility science shows that balance-specific training reduces fall risk far more than walking alone. Not because walking is bad, but because walking avoids instability. This exercise prepares you for the unexpected. Uneven sidewalks, gravel, wet floors. As this improves, people notice something subtle. They stop grabbing furniture. They feel steadier without thinking. They trust their legs again. That's not confidence alone. That's strength where it matters. Exercise. There are 3. The missing movement. This third exercise addresses a weakness surgeons notice constantly, and most people never realize it's there. It's the inability to lift the leg with control, not swing it forward, not shuffle it along. Lift it. This movement is essential for daily life. Stepping onto a curb, climbing stairs, getting into a car, clearing a rug or door threshold. When this movement weakens, trips happen. Surgeons see this pattern all the time. A patient says, "I don't know why I keep catching my foot." But when we look closer, the reason is clear. The muscles that lift the leg and control the hip have weakened. These muscles sit deep in the front and side of the hip. They are responsible for lifting the knee and stabilizing the pelvis. After 60, they decline quickly if they're not used intentionally. Walking does not train them properly. When you walk, your leg swings forward using momentum. Gravity does most of the work. The muscle barely engages. So over time, the signal weakens. That's why walking cannot replace this movement. Here's the exercise. Stand next to a counter or chair for support. Shift your weight onto one leg. Now slowly lift the opposite knee. Not high, just to about hip level or lower if needed. Pause for 2 seconds. Then slowly lower the foot back down. That pause is important. It forces the muscle to work, not swing. Do 6 to 8 repetitions per side, 1 to 2 sets. Keep your posture tall. Don't lean back. Don't rush. If balance feels challenging, keep one hand on support. If lifting the knee feels heavy, that doesn't mean you're incapable. It means the muscle has been neglected. That's an important distinction. Difficulty here is not a failure, it's information. This exercise reconnects your brain to muscles that have gone quiet. As this improves, something meaningful changes. You lift your feet higher without thinking. You clear steps more easily. You stop catching your toes. Surgeons know this movement matters because when it fails, injuries follow. Not dramatic falls. Small trips. Sudden losses of confidence. This exercise fills a gap walking leaves behind.